Hi everybody, this is so exciting. You're just getting deeper and deeper. You're going down that rabbit hole with me, aren't you? That's so much fun. So thanks for sticking it out with me. Okay, this segment is going to be on just hydrangeas. Why would I have a segment just on hydrangeas? Oh, let me show you the ways. There's so many things that I love about hydrangeas. First of all, they really grow well in the south, and I'm thinking I've seen them grow well other places too. So I highly suggest growing hydrangeas because they are such a great flower for arrangements, and you're going to see why. Okay, so we're going to start with, I've got some beautiful white hydrangeas. This is kind of green with a light blue edge, and then I also have these cool funky little green. They're like new green hydrangeas. So our hydrangeas actually come from Columbia, South Carolina. That's where most of the hydrangeas are grown. You can get the really funky, cool, gorgeous colors, more exotic colors and varieties of hydrangeas from Holland, California, and then from South America as well. So what do I love about hydrangeas? Okay, first of all, let's talk about that they are a very long-lasting flower, okay? They last a long, long time in water. However, you do have to cut them properly. So I'm sure you probably have gotten hydrangeas before at the grocery store and they wilt really fast, or you know, out who knows where. Anyway, so it's really important. They're water. Okay, they love water. They love water. So you have to make sure they get water. So with that little stem, that's not a lot of surface to get water. And I want you to start looking at all of the stems. So it's kind of funny. Instead of looking at the top of the flower, I want you to start looking at the stem of the flower, because you have woody stems, you have stems that look like straws where it's a hole in the middle, and there's nothing, it's just a straw-like thing, and then you have some that have that are completely solid. So there's different varieties of stems, and they all need to be treated differently. I'm not going to go in this course into how in the care of each flower, because there's this thing called Google. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's really kind of new and cool. So stupid. Okay, sorry. I'm so bad at like mimicking things, and I should not have tried that because I think I'm really good at it, but my family and friends tell me no, I'm not. Okay, so it's really important. Just Google how do I treat a hydrangea, and go to a very reputable site, because some people just say, oh, cut at an angle. I heard some famous florist, celebrity florist, give that as a direction on YouTube, and I was like, no, that's so wrong. I mean, it just hurts my heart when I see designers, tell the wrong thing, and I'm sure people are looking at my video and saying the same thing. But anyway, this is absolutely true story. I will not even sell hydrangeas at my shop for weddings and events to people. If they're like, oh, I just need 40 hydrangeas, I'm like, nope, not going there, because I know they won't treat it right. They won't cut it in properly. So now at the florist, we do a special treatment called quick dip, where we cut the stem once we are cut, and we do it with all the flowers, but we cut the stem, and it's really cool. Quick dip, it is a formula that opens up the cells of the stem. You cut your stem, you dip it in this quick dip, and hold it there for, I think it's like 30 seconds at the most. No, it's like 10 seconds. It's just a little bit. You switch around, you take it out, and there's a formula that actually opens the cells in the stem, so that when you put it in water, it takes up more water immediately. Isn't that cool? So we use that on all of our stems, but with hydrangeas, I want you to, obviously, okay, so I'm going to put it in today's first cutting lesson, guys. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to hold my stem up to my base. If I think, oh gosh, I want to put my stem up here, then I hold it to where I want it to go, and then I look and I see where I need to cut it. Does that make sense? You got that? Okay, so I'm like, hey, I want my stem to be about here. Okay, all I have to do is look and see how much is left below my container, and I know that's where I need to cut. So when you see designers holding stems up to their arrangement, that's what we're doing. Isn't that cool? So it just comes second nature to designers. We're just like, let's see, and then we cut the stem. So that's what's going on there, and that's when you obviously want to get your left hand, if you're right-handed, out of the way. But you're holding the stem, you're saying, hey, this is where I want it to go, and then you're cutting it. With the hydrangea, I'm going to go low. Hydrangeas are a great base. They're like a fluffy pillow. They're wonderful for that. So I'm going to go low, and I'm going to cut it as long as I can keep it in that container. They have these little knots. I usually try to cut above a knot at an angle. Then, here's what's so important. I'm going to shave off the woody part of the stem with my tools. So I've shaved off the outside. Then I'm going to take my clippers and do a cross cut, do 2 cuts, like a cross down the middle. Now I've got basically a shredded stem. This is a horrible idea to do with roses or a lot of other flowers, but this is what you want to do with a hydrangea. Now I'm ready to stick it in my vase. Okay? I'm going to do that again. So I hold the stem up to my vase. I know where I want to cut it. I have my knot here. I'm going to cut above the knot. I'm going to shave the woody part of the stem, and then I'm going to do a cross cut. Cut, cut. And I'm sticking it in my vase. Okay. So.
Now, is that when you do your quick dip before you stick it in your vase?
Quick dip is when I process, when I immediately get the flowers. Like when you come home from the grocery store, you're going to do that with all of your flowers and let them drink and let them get a good, nice drink. And then they're hydrated and they're ready to go. So we don't need to do quick dip as we're designing. Great question from the audience. Okay, so folding it up, deciding where I need to cut. You guys are just going to love this. So you can see I did not need a grid on this vase because the flowers are so fluffy. They stand on their own. Now if you have one that's kind of flopping out, I'm going to cut it a little bit lower. Just a little bit. It's kind of like a haircut. Like you can always cut a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to do. But you can never go back. Okay, now I've got a nice puffy top. Now this same look, and remember I told you about the womanly shaped vase? Okay. And I can say that because I'm a woman. So if a man said that, I'd be like, hey, don't be talking about women like that. Okay. Anyway, this shaped vase would not be as effective, in my opinion. We still do it, and it's beautiful. It's more of a romantic look because of the curved edges. So think about your flowers, the shape of the flowers and the shape of the vase in relation to one another. This is really cool because it's a modern square. So you've got a square going on. You have sharp edges mixed with fluffy round flowers. So you have this round square contrast going on. And then you have the square and the antique heirloom pattern, which mimics the hydrangea. I mean, it's just, that vase is so cool. I'm taking one of those home. It's not staying here at the floors. So be thinking of your flowers in relation to the vase. And in this case, we're talking about the round fluffiness of the hydrangea. So I love fluffy hydrangeas in a square vase. I love them. So isn't that a good looking arrangement already? Well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add more. A lot of the leaves, leaves do take up water, correct? So you don't want to leave a lot of leaves on your stems, your flower stems, because you want the flower to get all the water, correct? Right. So, but I love, if I can, I'll try to leave as many stems on as possible. So this is again where you got to be careful because you're using sharp objects. I'm doing that same cut, and I'm just so excited for you to learn this technique with the hydrangeas because there's way too many hydrangeas dying out there. It's just like, it's sad when you see a wilted hydrangea because you know what's going on. Someone didn't do the slice. I need to come up with a phrase for that. What's a cool slice and dice? No, see, I'm terrible at that kind of marketing, but that's really, and you can see that in this bad. I mean, my husband's doing the best he can with this subject matter, but I mean, this is really kind of a raw video, and I appreciate you're all following it because I'll get better, I promise. Okay. So what's cool about this, not only do we have just hydrangeas, right? Okay, so remember I was telling you about adding different textures and different colors of greens and things. Well, we've got so much going on here. We have the texture of the little green hydrangea with the really big petals of the white hydrangea, and then we have the light blue hydrangea, which is kind of in between. It has some of the green, it has some of the light blue, so we've got a lot going on. I mean, that to me, if I went to someone's house and I saw this arrangement, I would be like, girl, you know how to design. So I want you to definitely keep hydrangeas as a staple in your toolbox of flowers that you will continually use because they're just so easy. Now, what minute are we at? Because I'm going to continue. Okay, I'm continuing because like I said, I love hydrangeas. It deserves a segment all on its own. So now the other cool thing about hydrangeas is that they have all of those little blooms and all those little segments. So you can take something like this beautiful anemone. Isn't he cute? He's got it's almost like a purpley blue eyeball in the center, and then he has this roughly little edge, and then he has these delicate little petals, and then it's kind of like back in Louis the 14th days when they had the ruffles. I wonder if that's how Elizabethan clothing was developed, with that little ruffly neck. So fun, so cute. So I'm going to add him to the arrangement. And again, I'm holding the stem up to decide where I'm going to cut. And so what I'm showing you here is that the hydrangea acts as a grid for your flowers. So see, he stays in place. I can move it, it stays exactly where it needs to be. See, I'm telling you, it gets messy, guys. It gets really, really messy. We actually have a gigantic dumpster over here, a gigantic one of those 50-gallon trash bags. Is that what it is? Trash cans. And it's full by 3/4 of the day. So definitely you want near your workspace a trash can that's big enough where you can and really wide, so you can just like move the stems off and get them out of your way. Okay, I'm going to add another anemone. So cute. Okay, now I can put them on the other side, or maybe I have them just like kind of sprouting up above that other one. I think I'm going to go a little bit short. And see, he's more of a straw shape, so we definitely don't want to do the shading on the little anemone. See, to me that's a little bit too tall. It could, if I was adding other things, maybe I'd go there, but I love the way that the hydrangea acts as a grid and everything just stays in place. So I can keep adding, I'll do one more thing. So these are little spray roses. Aren't they sweet? And they're variegated. They're orange and yellow. So how did someone come up with that? And they just kind of fan out. And sometimes I'll separate, and I think you saw that, and that's important, is you can separate the hydrangea and then stick different flowers. It's like a spray rose you can stick. And I'm talking about spray roses because you see those. They're readily available. So definitely spray rose. But see how I just separated that spray rose by moving the hydrangea around? And so now it's in different segments of the hydrangea and it's staying. Okay, so we've given you the hydrangea. I've given you the hydrangea, the secret of the hydrangeas and how they make such a big impact on arrangements, and they're like a must for any floral designer. I could literally fill this entire arrangement with other flowers and you wouldn't see the hydrangea. And I've done that before. And if you just use the hydrangeas grid, of course it's fun to use it as well, but sometimes that's just my grid. Okay, well thank you. Bye for now.